It's quite interesting. Funny enough, my wife doesn't remember this, which is interesting because she remembers everything. I'm the one that forgets everything. We were in traffic heading home one day. There was probably about an hour and a half left of traffic. In Nigeria, every now and then, there is this thing called fuel scarcity where we have shortage of gasoline for cars. So what happens is at the end of the day, because cars have to line up at petrol stations to get their gasoline, the lanes get shortened, which extends the amount of time that you're in traffic. So it used to take us about like 2.5 hours to go to work. When there is fuel scarcity, now you're looking at 3 hours, 4 hours sometimes to go to work and come back from work. So it was one of those experiences where we probably left work at 7 p.m. It is like 10 at night. We've been in traffic for like 3 hours. I'm not exaggerating. We still had like an hour plus left in traffic. And we were both exhausted. I'm half asleep driving, and she's 2 months pregnant at that point as well. She's already like gone sleeping, going in and out. So eventually, she just turned to me while I was driving and said, do you really want to raise a family in this? And I remember I couldn't answer that question because prior to that, a friend of mine mentioned to me that one of his kids called him uncle. And the reason why was because when the kids woke up in the morning, he wasn't home. He had gone to work. He gets home in the evening, they're asleep, So, when the kids wake up in the morning, he's already gone to work. When he comes back from work, the kid's already asleep. And then Saturdays, he's trying to catch up on sleep. He's going for different meetings. So he was only spending time with the kids on Sundays. So they called him uncle because they just thought he was an extended member of the family. And that was the day he realized, I can't do this anymore. So a friend told me about that a few weeks beforehand. So when my wife asked me this question, that was the first thing that came to my mind. And I was like, oh my gosh, that is true. And I just said, no, I don't want to raise kids in this.
And how long did it take for you to go from that moment to arriving in Toronto?
For me, it took 2 years. For her, it took probably about 7-8 months or so.
Oh, did she have her baby in Nigeria or in Canada?
She had the baby here.
Oh, wow.
She had the baby here.
Had the baby.
Yeah.
And you didn't see the baby for a year.
I didn't see the baby for our son for a long time. I came here on vacation.
Uh-huh.
I took a 4-week vacation, excuse me. And I came to Mississauga where she was staying at that point. She was staying with her mom at that point in time. So I came. The baby hadn't arrived, so I was hoping that I get to see the baby. I did get to see, I was there when the baby was born. Probably one of the most traumatic experiences of my life, watching a child being born in the hospital. But I left a week after, and I didn't see my son again for probably another 5-6 months.
Uh-huh.
So the only experience I had of him was WhatsApp videos being sent to me, that type of thing. And I try to share this with people so that Canadians understand the experiences that immigrants go through just to make a decision. Family apart for almost a year. Seen my kid for when he's 5 months old. The next time I saw him after that was almost when he was like a year old, So all these spaces far in between.
And what were you doing in Nigeria when you came? What did you have to give up on and come here to start from scratch?
I was working at a media firm. We had like several TV stations under the media firm, and I was leading the radio. I was in charge of radio. I was offered a VP role in the organization. I turned it down, and then I started my own consultant firm. One thing I was able to do when I joined the radio station, I was within 3-4 months, their sales had doubled. Which was a great feat. And I was going around teaching other organizations how to really help develop their leadership to be able to achieve their results. So rather than do it off the side of the desk while working full-time, I pulled out and I just focused on consultant full-time, which was what I started to do. So I had started my own consulting career. My wife was working at PricewaterhouseCoopers, and she had already gotten like 3 promotions in a span of 2 years. So we both had promising futures in Nigeria. But Nigeria had what I like to call, there was a book I read some time back that mentions VUCA economy. So volatile, uncertain, it's complex, it's ambiguous. combination of all of that happening, and we just had to leave it all and basically start all over.